Hello, welcome to Game 7 of this stage of the World Championship. This is a penultimate game for me, and if you recall from the standings I showed last time, I have a sizable lead at the moment in the group, which could put me directly to the finals, but Pascalotopia still has quite a few games less finished, so he is definitely still in the running. If he wins his games, he will for sure overtake me, so the direct confrontations against Pascalotopia are very important. And also Wawrzyniec still had a chance to win the group, but it required that he won all 4 of his remaining games at that point, and also some of the results have to go his way as well to make sure he still finishes ahead of both me and Pascalotopia. So it's kind of unlikely for him, but if he still wants a chance, he needs to win this game to start it. And so it's the 2 competitors. E5 cannot win the group anymore, but these 2 still can, so this will be a very important game. Pascalotopia is in the first position, and he takes the Colossus over Boudica. Boudica, I think for sure the better cards, but in this card row, no wonders are visible, and I'll show the leaders and wonders while I'm at it. Also, maybe not the strongest set, Acropolis, Hanging Gardens, some of the weaker wonders perhaps. So it's very well possible that the stronger wonders just won't come out. Also, you see no Suez Canal in this game. There is James Cook, but the main payoff for colonies is not in this game, so this makes Colossus a bit weaker. But still, he's the only one at this point guaranteed to have an HA wonder. If you look at the H1 wonders, there's no Universitas here. There is Silk Road, which is a good one to start with. Machu Picchu can work, Forbidden City is okay. These 2 are somewhat awkward as your first wonder because they don't give an economic advantage. But there is also one more important consideration here, I think, and that's Caesar. And I have been dissing Caesar a bit in one of my previous video, but in first position with the Colossus combination he can be quite scary. It's like I think it's an edge case, you have to be in first position and have both Caesar and Colossus, but in that situation it's actually quite scary because getting that early Colossus gives you the strength advantage, also gives you some colony advantage, and you can really get going with that. So we'll see if that's what ends up happening here. Now for Wawrzyniec, I think the obvious choice is Boudica Richland, so that's what he does. And then for my turn, I'm not going to take the Caesar because he's just, like I said, I don't think he's any good. Just to hate draft him away from the Pursuit Colossus is pretty expensive. I'm kind of ruining my own game for hate drafting the Caesar at that point, which I don't like. And also, if he just gets the EG as well, it just gets super scary because he's gonna have an early Colossus as well. So I'm just gonna take the EG away and get a leader on my next turn. It will be interesting to see, and there's only one wonder coming out, and it's a Stonehenge, and it stays pretty far on the row as well. So Pascalotopia indeed goes for Caesar. I think in first position especially, Ashoka is also weaker then. And yeah, you have the combo with Colossus, you are in first position. And one more notable thing about this setup, if you look at the H1 leaders, there's actually not much defense. There's no Nostradamus, no Zizka here. Can be very annoying if you're just stealing the strength events and then somebody gets Nostradamus and just doesn't get hurt at all for free. There's no threat of aggressions against him. But no Nostradamus here and no Zizka. There is Joan of Arc who can defend well. Barbarossa can maybe help set up military a bit, but overall just not much in the way of defense here. So that's an even bigger reason to go for this now. Then Wawrzyniec builds his mine, populates, and just takes Stonehenge without electing Boudica. That's interesting. So Boudica is already a bit awkward against Caesar, of course. You'll have to build a warrior, but Still, it's a free warrior and may help you in defense, so it's not terrible. But I find it interesting that he doesn't elect Boudica but goes for populating. Of course, Caesar can seed twice, so there's an increased chance of the free religion coming out. But still, if it's the free warrior, basically by electing Boudica, you'll get a free warrior anyway, and it's gonna be hard to make use of development of warfare regardless, because you are going to have to you make a free warrior anyway. So I don't know, I think I prefer just electing Boudica to populating here. But yeah, if a free religion comes out, of course, also important. Helps with the immigration and rebellion that might come out early. So yeah. But then again, Caesar himself has the Colossus, so maybe he's not that likely to see those events. And then it's my turn, and the question is which leader will I go for? And as you see, I'm picking Hammurabi, and yeah, he's the strongest leader, of course, in the dark, but we're up against Caesar here, and that's notably risky, let's say, because spending your military action means less chance to draw defense cards and tactics. On the other hand, I don't think Aristotle, for example, is going to do that much here. Probably not getting this code, and there's not much else on the row yet. And also he doesn't really help in defense either. Well, my hope with Hammurabi is actually getting a monarchy and getting to do a revolution, which at least will give me a third MA. So I'm just hoping to get a very early monarchy, pick it for 3 if I have to. And in that sense, Hammurabi can actually help defend against the Caesar, perhaps better even than Aristotle or maybe Homer can. So that was my reasoning for this. There is the risk of double aggression here, so it's always the question in this situation if you should you do the normal stuff, and I could now take an HA yellow card with my Hammurabi action, or just pass on it and draw 2 cards. So I'm sure not to get double aggressed here. I'm not really sure what the best course is in this situation, but here I'll choose to pass on the free food and just take the 2 cards, just have an extra chance to draw defense cards or tactics. And of course it's awkward that I'm not using Hammurabi for this turn, but again I still think he's gonna have value, and hopefully I can find the monarchy for him. Caesar immediately gets the draw 3 cards, so he double seats then, gets 2 extra resources, takes the bread and the code. So as you see, Aristotle here is just not going to do anything if I had taken him. So, and builds the first stage of Colossus, doesn't build the lab, so he's going to finish at Colossus really soon, next turn, and then yeah, he's gonna be threatening already. Wawrzyniec seed as well, development of civil life comes out, elects Boudica now, builds 2 stages, and he got a lab from the civil life, I suppose. Yeah, builds 2 stages and takes reserves. Yeah, makes sense. Just efficient use of the actions, and reserves is good to have in hand at this point. And in my hand we see some tactics and also 2 events, and I will see the new deposits. We'll get to that in a moment. It means the deck will flip sooner. That's bad. Like Caesar can already flip the deck now and reveal an event from the next deck. But I'm going to go for this Great Wall, so I really want these new deposits in the deck. Hopefully they are revealed by my next turn, and so I can just finish the Great Wall. I have the EG even, so it should be doable to do this pretty soon. And in fact, my hope is to basically get a second warrior and finish this wall. So I have 4 rocks already. I need basically 7, but this could still be warfare, which is also worth 2 rocks. And I have now the new deposits in there. So I'm hoping to finish the wall and get a second warrior basically. And that should put me at 4 strength, which should be safe enough for now. Keeping the Reign of Terror and the Phalanx, and I draw open borders. And it is development of warfare. Yeah, that works for me. And immediately the border conflict comes out. That's bad, so I get hit immediately by a strength event. But there wasn't really any way I think I could increase my strength this turn already, because I don't have, like, except not building a lab or something. And then he immediately goes for bread and circuses as well. So he's at 6 strength already. Got the free warrior, finished Colossus, and built the bread and circuses. And so Wawrzyniec will take this warfare, unfortunately. And again, there's just nothing on the card row that can help me now. He takes corruption and doesn't get to use, corruption and doesn't get to use the Burica resource. So also a pretty terrible turn to have to do, but yeah, he gets the warfare, so at least he's fairly safe from Caesar's aggressions. And then it's my turn, and yeah, I can now offer open borders to Wawrzyniec. Problem with that is, I'll get second warrior now, but I can't finish the wall. And yeah, that's basically all I can do at this point. I can only build a second warrior, which put me at 2 strength with 3 military actions if I go for this open borders. And then maybe I draw a defense card and can stop 1 aggression, but I think even in that case, if I have 3 MAs and I'm at 2 strength against 6, I think he's still, if he can go for double aggression, I think he's still going to do it. And I'm going to get hit by the second aggression and maybe the first, like still over 50% chance that I get hit by the first as well, even with the open borders agreement. And so for this reason, I'm thinking maybe I should just cede and hope that I hit the new deposits now. If I hit the new deposits, I'm getting this free warrior, and I'm building 2 stages of, I'm completing the wall basically. That puts me at 4 strength, and then I'm actually quite safe. He can still double aggress me, of course, but then I'm safe from the first one for sure. Actually, from both of them, I'll have enough cards in hand, and I can defend 6 against 4 2 times, because I don't have to spend any MA now, just finishing the wall. That is if the new deposits comes out, of course. So it's a bit of a gamble. It's only 1 in 4 to hit it, but I don't think this open borders helps me that much at this point. Even gives the opportunity to Wawrzyniec to aggress me as well. That's even more awkward. So yeah, I think the chance is still very high that Pascalotopia will go for 2 aggressions if I go for these open borders. The chance that I can defend one of them is reasonable, but not great. And yeah, I'm for sure taking the second one, and I might even get aggressed by Wawrzyniec on top. So yeah, on the whole, I think it's better to go for this 1 in 4 chance to try to hit the new deposits, basically. And yeah, it's awkward that I'm seeding this Reign of Terror for it even. Not exactly a great event, but I didn't have any other one. So I'm going to try to hit the new deposits with it. At least then, if this all works, then I'm not the weakest, so it might not hurt me. Sadly, instead of +3 rocks, I'm losing 2, because I need the food for my population. I'm using this urban growth to build a religion now, and taking breakthrough, Leo, and rich land. Yeah, so I'm at 2 strength, as I said. I could actually build another warrior. Yeah, but that's not helping anyway, right? So then I don't draw any cards, and yeah, still gonna get double aggressed, and then I'm sure I can't defend either. So yeah, there's at this point no decent way out of this. no way out of this actually. Feels like there's just nothing I can do, and if he has double aggression, then I'm kind of screwed. And that's what happens. So yeah, lose that population, lose my rocks, and GG. Yeah. So yeah, I had basically two chances to hit the new deposits before this happened, and yeah, didn't get them. There's the monarchy now, maybe that can help. Wawrzyniec take the knights, goes for medieval. So I kind of skipped over this turn, but he built a third farm to Columbus and Frugality. So yeah, he can get more population out easily now, and yeah, should have a colony probably for Columbus. He didn't actually. Never mind. Yeah, and he's taking knights, revealing the medieval. Used Boudica for a third warrior actually. Yeah, so he can defend for sure, but the third warrior is a bit awkward, but he can still go for a knight next turn. But he's going to need some happy face solution by the next stage. So now I'm again going to try to hit the new deposits. It's not going to be enough to finish this, but I kind of want this event in anyway. I have one happy face now. I hope to get a second from this one. And I lost actually a farm as well to the border conflict at some point. And uncertain borders now hits me. Yeah, why not? So then I'm going for the revolution. At least that gives me an MA. And I draw the vast, so Columbus doesn't have that. Now it's knowledge of the engines, which is also bad. And then finally new deposits comes out. Okay, so now I can at least finish the wall. And I have Reign of Terror in the next deck, so I have to hope not to get hit by that as well. Takes irrigation, cultural heritage, so this is clearly a military game. And now Wawrzyniec goes for a threat and can go for a knight. Two knights even, using the reserves for food. And suddenly he's at 12 strength, so having the open borders with him would have been awkward at this point as well. If I had chosen that. So I'm going for open borders with Caesar actually, in order to defend against Wawrzyniec. I do now have the new deposits, so I can finish the wall, but I have to destroy a mine and build a warrior, reveal this legion, and that puts me at 8 strength, out of range of the Reign of Terror, and not quite actually able to defend against Wawrzyniec, but if I had one defense card, or if my draw is one, then I can. But of course my infrastructure has been hurt badly. But yeah, I really can't afford to lose the Reign of Terror at this point. So I kinda have to build this third warrior, and also can't afford to get aggressed again, of course. So yeah, just going for this legion at least. I'm at a decent strength amount. And I also have two happy faces for the immigration is also in this deck. Yeah, so both of my events would be nice to be revealed at this point. The Reign of Terror and the immigration would both be good for me now. And something more happens. I take warfare and alchemy in hand. Yeah, alchemy with Leonardo. Thinking I could go Joan. So if I go Joan, then I have another strength, and I'm sure I can defend. But I think at this point I just wanted to get something going, and I have the alchemy and Leo now, So that's at least something that will. The rock income is also super important. My economy is so bad at this point. Okay, the others haven't really upgraded anything either, just a third farm here. But yeah, I have actually lost a farm and a mine. So I think I need to get something going, and Leo plus alchemy at least gets me somewhere. And I have one more action. And I developed the warfare, so I already get one rock from Leo and actually can defend like this as well. Okay, should have let my whole turn play before I start. So that's why I don't need Joan then. Destroying this and building a third warrior was always necessary to get enough risk, because the warrior is basically worth 1 plus 1 plus 2 for strength. Without that, it's not possible to get a defense. At least with this, I will have something to get going next turn, and with warfare, I'm now quite safe. And I have 2 events in that I'm now happy to see at least. Then it's Pascalotopia's turn. He seeds. The rebellion comes out, which doesn't do anything. He seeds again, and it's still not my event. And it's developed territory, which Wawrzyniec wins for just a warrior. That's very nice for him. And then builds the swordsman, elects Columbus, and upgrades the others. Puts him at 9 strength, but he's still the weakest now. Takes iron, takes rich land. Okay. Wawrzyniec doesn't see it. Goes for the alchemy. And gets both upgrades. So yeah, they both get something going. I mean, the iron's not. Actually, he's low on science now. So he had to build military now too to catch up to Wawrzyniec. And Wawrzyniec does have something nice going now, has the alchemies. Won't get in trouble with the age turning. Wawrzyniec, Pascalotopia can still get an extra pop out, so that's something. But he's low on science. Probably needs to go for a wonder next turn. So I will see it again because I want to see both of the events I put in. The Reign of Terror is actually getting critical now because I can lose it if it's not revealed now. The reds go in and Pestilence is revealed. So yeah, getting the Reign of Terror now would be great, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. Getting the Immigration would be good before the Pestilence, but of course, yeah. Like this game, I don't think anything has happened, like everything has happened the worst possible way. I'm losing another mine here. Yeah, the lab is just more expensive, I guess, and I can upgrade both of them maybe at some point. But yeah, this is a disaster. And now also, of course, Reign of Terror hasn't come out, so I have to get stronger. I have to go for the swordsman now instead of the alchemy, because otherwise I will lose the Reign of Terror. Yeah, you don't see things like this in Wide and Bow videos. It's just, this game is just a bit absurd. I mean, everything that could go wrong went wrong, and yeah. And now I get strongest even. I take the irrigation, the breakthrough. At least I can set things up with these cards, but yeah, this is just dead again. And then Machu Picchu is taken. As I said, he had to go for a wonder because no science. Didn't see it. Swordsman and Legion, which makes him stronger again. And once he has the science and for all this, it will be nice, but it will take a while for him to set all this up. So Wawrzyniec also doesn't see it now. Takes this call, which is very early, and takes St. Pete's. At least he can't get stronger. He had no way to get stronger, so finally I can maybe still hit the Reign of Terror and not lose to it. He can get more happy faces maybe, but yeah, immigration comes out now. We get an extra population, and that's the ocean liner. Very strong wonder. If I get to 10 resources, I will get this, but yeah, that's quite far away. And I get the cannon as well. I draw defensive armies, so that's the perfect row. I have the cannon, I have the swordsman and the great wall. If I now ever get the rocks to build things, then yeah, there's that at least. Now the Reign of Terror hits Wawrzyniec, so that's good. And starts building on Machu Picchu and goes for one irrigation upgrade. So next turn he can finish Machu Picchu, and then the turn after that he can develop the iron. So again, takes time, but yeah, we had a very aggressive early game, at least, but he got a lot of out of those two aggressions at least. So it's all a bit low economy, but yeah, this will, once it's set up, he will have a bigger economy. He will have a big economy, and yeah, especially compared to what we have going, that's good. So yeah, gets the James Watt now. That's super powerful. Gets very early coal and watt. So I think his position is now looking pretty great. Yeah, has coal and watt going very early in H2. Takes rifles, which means I'll get this wave. That's good. 6 rocks is like 6 turns of production. That's great. But yeah, getting these coal upgrades going so soon, that's going to be a problem, and he's going to get Machu Picchu going. So yeah, let's see if I see it. Arms industry and vast. I'll probably see the arms industry, right? Yeah, because I have no rocks, and at least I have this upgraded. Maybe can go for the cannon by the time it comes out. Culture scoring, I win this event. It's something new. So I get an extra culture or something. And upgrade one lab, get a wave, get the second mine with the rich land I had in hand, and take reserves. So yeah, up to 2 production already. And yeah, still a long way to go for the ocean liner. Take the reserves, of course. Yeah, need more rocks. And yeah, I've got Leo with the alchemy going at least. Yeah, war, nice. Not really ready, but okay. Wealthy territory was actually bidding to bid 6 for that. Let's see. So that's an H1 card? No, an H2 card probably, yeah. So 2, 4, 6, yeah, I have some cards. And yeah, getting the 6 rocks would be nice, but I would be, like I lose 5 strength, so I go to 7, I would not be in danger of aggression, yeah. So it would be great to win this, but I don't. And Wawrzyniec gets the 6 rocks now, and that's actually good. Not really, he can't go for the iron yet, so he can finish Machu, but he could do that anyway. Gets Nobel, that's really good. Getting the science production going. And sorry, what was the last thing? He built a swordsman to forget, yeah. So goes up to 15 strength. Not sure what the swordsman achieves at this point. Maybe just for colonizing, because he's not really threatening anything yet. So maybe just for taking a colony, perhaps. International trade agreement. So okay, I get extra rock even, so that's really nice. That's plus 50% production now. Yeah, and he takes the food. Yeah, he will have he has the rocks going with what now, but doesn't have the breeding yet. So like this, he can still get some population out. So it makes sense. Develops a rifleman, doesn't go for them as usual. Takes the breakthrough, it's good, and starts on St. Pete's, which will be finished soon, and then the extra pop will be usable as well, so that's good. Doesn't get his efficient upgrade, but yeah, he only has 4 actions, so can't really do everything. Um, the governments are pretty late. He could have gone for one this turn if one was available, but unfortunately for him not. Pascalotopia is not really ready for governance just yet. I see the vast and reds come out. The smart thing in this game is not producing food, so that's what I'm doing. And actually Pascalotopia especially loses a lot, and Wawrzyniec just got a pact for extra food and then lost the food anyway, so that's good. This event was good for me. Yeah, efficient upgrade, just 3 free rocks, and I built 2 stages. Yeah, I used the reserves, built 2 stages, took organized religion and efficient upgrade. Yeah, I'll need happy faces at some point. Can use that on the organized religion or on the alchemy. And next turn I have enough rocks to finish it thanks to the pact. So that's good. Yeah. Maybe I can then use the wave and cannon and get some strength going even. Draw terrorism autonomous. And I win the Cold War now. It's also a good thing. Pascalotopia goes for iron now. So maybe that was why the extra swordsman to be more sure of winning this. He probably seeded that. And now he has a pretty big economy already. And will get a government probably next turn. Still no government for Wawrzyniec here. And takes the cannons for 3. Oof, that's expensive. So he used the EG to build a stage here, but then didn't finish it, but took the cannons for 3. So probably signifies he went for the rifles as well, so it probably signifies Napoleonic army in his hand. Yeah, almost certainly if it's mobile he won't go for the riflemen. So he kinda has to have Napoleonic army and is a bit scared of giving away this cannon to Pascalotopia. Yeah, he could have quite a bit of strength if he just goes for one defensive army, which is in my hand, but of course Wawrzyniec doesn't know that. So he doesn't want to see that happen and takes the cannon for himself, probably for Napoleonic too. But of course very expensive, having to spend the 3 actions now and not having the government yet is getting a bit painful for him. So the early what goal was great, but the government being late is hurting him. Yeah, I'll now see the autonomous, and I actually win developed, which comes out. So yeah, I had 2 cards, so the autonomous was winnable, and but actually I'm using the cards now for developed, which is also a very good tech colony, of course. Although I have quite a bit of science, but still the yellow and blue tokens are very useful, and I'll hopefully be able to do something with the science as well. And I'll go for cannon, play the wave, take Maria, replace Leo, finish the ocean liner, get a population, and can build a cannon, which wastes 1 rock unfortunately, but probably reveal the tactic too, which makes me strongest. So yeah, this is a nice turn. I got to develop the cannon with Leo, get 1 extra rock, use my wave, just finish this exactly, get the Maria bonus as well, and become the strongest all in one turn. So this looks okay, maybe. I have the ocean liner now, so population won't be an issue anymore, won't be that problematic anymore at least. Have a bunch of signs lying around, maybe go for an H3 government, or yeah, not really have much income, so probably just have to use it for some useful text that I will need at some point. Maybe coal. I have an efficient upgrade, so yeah, I'll have to go for coal. The second copy hopefully comes soon, because I'm ready to go for coal now. And if I can get coal going, then it doesn't look too bad anymore. I actually have a little bit of a culture lead, so there's that. But yeah, I'm still way behind on rock production, but at least Maria will take some of that slack up. So yeah, getting back into the game now. Now the vast comes out. Would be nice to have, but I can't really bid for it now. At least has to spend 2 units. Wawrzyniec. Some more economy upgrades and taking journalism and architecture develops the architecture. So that's interesting again. Not setting up for a government now. So if he doesn't develop the architecture, he can for sure go for a government next turn. But instead he develops it. So maybe he just wants to go for journalism first. If he goes next turn journalism, he has 4. So basically 8 a turn after. So if he can build 2 journalisms, he'll be at 12. Yeah, I guess that's the plan. And that's actually, like, building journalisms is probably as good as getting a government. Maybe a little problem with Happy Fit, but can build a second Prince Circuses and have enough population. Yeah, so I think next turn he can actually just build 2 journalisms, take a government in hand, and go for it a turn afterwards, which is nice. He's building a 5th swordsman too. Not sure if there's an immediate reason for it, maybe just colonizing again or whatever. But it's a little bit awkward, so that's more than he needs for medieval classical armies, for example. So a little bit awkward. On the other hand, maybe he threatens a war like this by just going for war, building another swordsman, maybe. But I don't really think so, because just having 1 cannon and the Napoleonic army is 8 strength, so I don't think he gets very far with that. So I'm not sure about the swordsman. Maybe, no, he didn't need it for corruption, right? Goes for Republic. Has the warfare, so the 3rd MA, and yeah, maybe just needs more civil actions, really. Goes for a Napoleonic indeed. Takes the breeding, yeah, and finishes the same piece. Yeah, that's all pretty straightforward. Had to fix the military, had to take the breeding, had to finish this, because otherwise you risk it going down actually. Maybe not, but gonna be close. So he kind of have to do all these things, and then probably has to take the Republic just to have enough actions for all these things. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, but still nice turn. With the Vast, he now has a lot of big yellow banks, so producing 3 fruit this turn with the pact and just the 2 little farms. And yeah, he's still upgrading coal, will upgrade breedings. Also kind of low on science though. So he had to go for government and cannon now. We'll go for the breeding next turn. And will then be kind of low on science. But apart from that, looks very nice. So I can see this. Yeah, I will. I'm strongest, so why not? And Wawrzyniec actually gets now full 6 rocks, and I only get 2 rocks. So that didn't work too great. Maybe not even terrible either. Get the justice system, it's useful. I developed that irrigation I still had in hand. Get a pop out and build a warrior just to use the Maria rock, and it's worth 2 strength anyway. Also can bid for colonies with this. Yeah, I have to get the irrigation out because otherwise I lose it, and I'll soon need another food production, and the irrigation will be good for uh, setting that up. Sadly, no coal on the board. I took the rich land for 2, so I now have 2 ways, two cards to help upgrade to coal. But yeah, it's getting late for, yeah, it will be H3 by the time I get that going. So yeah, still not great looking, but at least it's something. I'm not gonna see terrorism, of course. Probably crime wave. Now historic comes out. We each bid 4, and Pascalotopia gets it for a warrior and a card, and develops the cavalryman actually, so he's not going for journalisms, and he will stay on this despotism. Woo. So classical army then. Yeah. So goes up to 27 strength, but he doesn't get these journalisms. I'm not sure. I think it would have been really nice to have just 2 journalisms and take a conmon in hand, be ready to go for it next turn. Maybe he's worried about Wawrzyniec's military though, but he's on 3 MAs, not really a way to get. He gets a strategy, yeah. Which he can't develop right away, of course, but still could be strategy instead of warfare. Never mind, that doesn't make sense. So don't think he's that threatening. Am I threatening? Maybe. Yeah, maybe I do something crazy. I have 8 rocks. I could just actually 9 with. Yeah, yeah. If he doesn't become stronger, I only have 9 rocks, right? But I could use them to build swordsman upgrade and cannon. Have a second army. I can do all that and declare war. Yeah. So maybe he's worried about my military. But even so, if it just be journalisms, just 1 journalism, I don't know. Feels a bit strange maybe. He's also guaranteeing me 3 rocks. Yeah, I don't know. And this despotism will just stay, like he's not even taking a government. Okay, I can understand that if you. And even so, he could go for it next term with this. So, yeah, a bit of a strange turn, maybe. I'm not sure. So Wawrzyniec will now go for selective breeding. Can upgrade them, upgrade last call too probably. Pops a few times. Build more military, okay, yeah, has to happen as well. And takes another road. Goes to 22 strength, can probably defend. Yeah, but he had to build some military, of course. But yeah, he can still get the last mine upgrade next turn. Get that knight and have a second tactic, and then he'll be strong as well. And yeah, urban growth, probably have to go for computer multimedia or something to get something going, but yeah, looks very nice then. Not sure which of them is looking better. Yeah, probably I think Wawrzyniec looks better because of the government situation. That's awkward. And then, yeah, as I said, my civilization is functional now, but probably still just running behind too much. Like the 2 little farm mines and just 1 farm still. Yeah, no more open borders. And Pascalotopia draws 3 cards. I'm not seeding, I'm weakest at this point. And the coal, I still have to take it for 2, unfortunately. And can go for upgrades, and navigation, and develop it even. So the autonomous is still in there, that I know for sure. I used Maria rocks to build a cannon, I think, yeah. To build another cannon, so I'm not the weakest anymore. I will take -4 here. That's kind of the cost of that navigation, I suppose. But I think, yeah, winning the autonomous, one of these two events is autonomous, and yeah, winning that is worth way more than the 4 culture, I think. And then I also have to upgrade the coal first. I can't delay that, I think. So that's why I'm just going to take 4 culture loss. Still in lead though. Autonomous comes out, no, and I actually win it. Okay, so paying 9 though, that means cannon and the warrior have to be sent, plus my cards. And now we have something really beautiful in my civilization. I have been on this one little HA farm the whole game. I have developed irrigation but never built anything, but we have produced food without farmers. It's magic. We have, well, maybe not magic. I mean, we went to a foreign land, took their food and put it here, but that's still, I think this is pretty unique site to have 3 of the bags here next to a tech that hasn't ever been built even. That's kind of nice. So in other words, I took the fruit from autonomous, which is really nice with Maria. I now have exactly enough food to populate twice, get then the ocean liners. Well, I have 3 activations of Maria. So that's very nice, and then her rocks will still help me a lot. So now Pascalotopia goes for journalism, just the one, and yeah, get rid of this, and yeah, take a breakthrough, yeah, makes sense. So he's at 12 signs now, and yeah, turn after next, he can maybe get an H3 government going. Next turn he can build a second journalism too, that's good. So it's still nice looking civilization once he gets a government. Also he threatens a second army at this point now, but he can't really go for war or anything yet. Economic progress for the, I don't know how many time in this series. It sucks for me. At least I get 3 rocks out of it. It's not the worst it could ever have been. Probably was worse if it was revealed earlier still, but my opponents get a lot out of this, and I just get only 3 rocks, so not great. So upgrade that mine, get that knight, get opera, reserves, pop, and build another lab, yeah, and take architecture, yeah. So he's now nicely set up for a lot of things. He has good military with a tactic, good food and rock. Needs a H3 leader now, what is finished, but has 3 labs ready and the opera. So if you look at the leaders, if he gets computers, he can go for Bill Gates, Sid Meier, Steve Jobs, Churchill, kind of always usable, and can go for Chaplin and opera. Not set up for Pierre, and don't really think he wants Gandhi either, because he wants something more than 2 culture out of his leader probably. But yeah, who knows how it goes, maybe. Okay, so no seeding. I'm weakest again, and as I said, I can now get 3 pop out with Maria. Can use the rich land or efficient upgrade, not sure which I had left, but probably the efficient. And then build 2 warriors, and yeah, I now also upgrade this farm to not have -4 culture again. And yeah, after those upgrades I have just enough to also build 2 warriors, which makes me second strongest again, thanks to fulfilling a little tactic and having great wall bonus. They're still making sure I have quite a bit of strength, so that's okay. Yep, so now I think my civilization is functional. I have decent government, I have people income, good rocks actually with Maria, just a little low on science, but still have some left. And if we look at the culture, I'm actually still just barely in the lead, but pretty much tied with Pascalotopia, a little ahead of Wawrzyniec. The others have bigger economies, but not by that much, and Pascalotopia still needs a government. Wawrzyniec really has everything, but needs to find some way of converting that into culture still. So doesn't look too bad, I think, at this point, especially given where we came from. Take the urban growth and EG, I think. Yeah. So just taking some decent yellows now, because don't need anything. Like I could try computers, but without that urban growth, don't think I'm going for computers just yet, and I'm happy with Maria anyway. She's providing me a lot of value, so not really going for anything right now, just taking yellows to have some more rocks available later on. Also the wonders, there's no food wonder here, no red cross. Manhattan is in, which is always a pretty good one with EG. I think they're pretty efficient if you can get both of those together. Spaceflight is also a good one for it. Fast food's okay. So, yeah. But yeah, Hollywood falls off and Empire State will be gone probably. But the other 3 wonders are quite usable. Yeah, Manhattan not really for a culture now, but could be useful for the strength mainly. Like I said, with EG it's kind of efficient. And then Pascalotopia gets Pierre and a second library and a second spread and circuses. Doesn't elect Pierre yet, needs a civil action for that, of course. And now he has enough science for a government next turn. And the breakthrough means he will still have some left afterwards as well. So yeah, with the government next turn, this is gonna look nice. And yeah, I'm not happy about this at all. Of course, losing what was kind of irrelevant. Losing Nobel is fine, doesn't have to pay the action for it now, so that's okay. But Maria was actually still giving me a lot, like a quarter of my science income basically. And 3 rocks as well, which was necessary to keep up with the others. So yeah, this is not good. Wawrzyniec gets Churchill for 1, so that's nice after the iconoclasm. Has an easily usable leader now. Gets the multimedia and can build one even. Yep. Takes computers too. Yeah. Yeah, I don't need pro sports either, of course. So, but not sure this will be useful, but yeah, whatever. At least he has 3 labs, right? So. But he won't have a lab leader. The impact of variety, I think that was. I have 3 of these at least, so not going to be too bad. And yeah, popularization of science is not good. And yeah, this was a difficult turn. I'm taking Chaplin and movies and Manhattan. So my first thought was take Chaplin, take movies, elect Chaplin, develop movies, and build one with the free population from the ocean liner, which still has to come out, I think. Okay, I'm upgrading some military as well, sure, and this. So instead of Manhattan, I could have elected Chaplin, developed movies, and built one with this urban growth, but then I don't get these upgrades. So that's fine. I don't really need those upgrades now for my defense or anything. So I could have done that, and then I would have 10 culture production and been at 53, and yeah, still keeping a healthy lead. But then, of course, all my science would be gone. I would be at 1 plus 3, so I would not be able to develop anything next turn. And I was actually quite scared. I thought, Pascalotopia can't go for war now. But I was scared that if I leave the Manhattan on the board, Wawrzyniec might, because he can just war me, take the Manhattan, play the architecture, the reserves, and finish it. And there was just nothing I could do at that point. I would have invested all my rock and all my science, and I can just build one military unit or something, or two if I destroy something. Still, it was maybe an acceptable risk. Maybe he doesn't have a war, maybe he doesn't want to go for it. But yeah, he gets 9 culture from the Manhattan, and I thought it was just really efficient way to just take a bunch of points from me. So I didn't like that the Manhattan was there. I would have preferred not to take it, but I didn't see. Yeah, if I go for this movie now, I think the Manhattan actually made it so Wawrzyniec could go for a war. There are probably some other ways. If he gets the second copy of Military Theory, he didn't get the first one actually. He can maybe also go for a war, but it's replacing this. So he only gets 2 MAs at this point. It's just basically the Manhattan. If the Manhattan wasn't there or was on a Discord spot, I would have been fine with the movie, I think. But now I thought it was too risky, and I have this EG, so this Manhattan will give me some strength without investing population. So yeah, that's why I took it here, basically. But I'm not sure, maybe I should be greedy, but at this point I was thinking if I can get the second place out of this, it's good, but taking the culture lead now and not being ready for a war is kind of asking to be destroyed, basically. Especially at this point, it's clear that I'm leading the group, so yeah, basically both of them want to win the game and have me put in last place. So yeah, they would think Wawrzyniec would be happy to go for that war, and I can't. I was thinking safer if I do this next turn and set up some defense first, some way I can get extra strength, because I can finish this if I want next turn maybe, just to have the strength. It's not going to give much culture, obviously. I was thinking if I don't get warred, maybe I have better chance for second place now. Draw impact of culture, which is kind of interesting. A war to inhabited. It's again revealed on Pascalotopia's turn, so I can't really get it. I think I see it is, not sure. And he gets it for 1 unit. Military theory and satellites now. There's no government on the row, so that's good for me and bad for Pascalotopia. Otherwise he could go for a government for sure now. As is, he can't even build more urban buildings, but he builds more military and goes for the second army, but gets no draws at this point. But he has 40 strength now. Second military theory goes towards Wawrzyniec. That's a bit unfortunate, I think, not great. Would have rather he stayed on 3 MAs. Reserves and patriotism. And also build some more military, and looking fairly threatening now. Yeah, can of course go for the for another army, but also for air forces. You can just build 2 air forces, maybe even 3, because 18, 21. Yeah, he could go for 3, but yeah, the third one doesn't double tactic, of course. But he has the patriotism, has the Churchill bonus, so he's actually threatening. And it's getting pretty late, and we will see also no air force now. I'm studying the impact of culture. Strategic comes out. I win it. And now I will go for Chaplin and movie, because yeah, I can't keep falling behind either. If you look at the culture at this point, if I don't go for the movie now, I'm already falling behind on culture, and don't think my civilization is still worse. I'm not going to catch up in any other way, probably. So I have to get this Chaplin and movie set up now, and so I also see that the impact of culture, which I'm now winning. It's maybe not sure that I'm staying there, but yeah, I kind of have to hope at this point to get something good, and yeah, there's definitely a chance that I win this. Get some good yellows, that's okay. Still one more action, and yeah, just use that EG on the Manhattan. There's just really nothing I can reasonably take here. I think these 2 are just by far the best cards I can have. So there's no use doing anything else with my civil actions, which leaves me with 1 civil action, which I can't use for a card here. So I'm using the EG, which wastes 1 rock from the EG compared to using it on the middle step. But yeah, I think it's better to waste 1 rock than 1 civil action. So that's that. So if we get the production, maybe. Yeah, all the impacts I had were basically unplayable. But yeah, of course, I don't have a lot of winning impacts. I drew colonies now, which looked at first when I saw it, oh, that's a good impact, but actually it's a draw. We each have 3 colonies, but at least yeah, it's playable impact. So that's okay. If you look at the culture now, I'm still like barely in lead. I'm producing slightly more at the moment, so that's good. But yeah, still my civilization is not really set up as well for impacts, for example, as theirs, and they can have more culture production. I'm also stuck with this wonder that's just purely defensive at this point. Fast food will fall off, but spaceflight is still around for somebody. But yeah, good. I still have hope at this point. So compared to where I was at the start of H2 or halfway H2 with the 1 little farm, 1 mine or whatever, I think it looks okay. Like I'm probably a little behind, but also we see Pascalotopia turn here, and there's still no government on the board. So that's getting really huge at this point. If he gets a democracy, it automatically wins him impact of culture. Probably builds more urban buildings too, but he gets +3, of course. So the fact that he doesn't get a democracy here is huge. He might have some trouble even just doing things at this point. Maybe going for computers, yeah, probably. Let's see. Yeah, like there's not even many other options, but yes, again, it means his civilization will be much better for impacts than mine. Also, he didn't declare Olympic Games. as I said, Wawrzyniec is fairly threatening at the moment, and yeah, I was a bit scared that he would war me now. So the preferred Olympic Games. Because if he wars me, I don't think I can completely defend. If he gets air forces, it is. So I'm just hoping he doesn't get air forces now. And he doesn't, so there's no war. Yeah, impacts are not going to be great for me overall. And he builds an opera. Uses that patriotism even. And builds a knight and a cannon. Yeah. And takes the reserves. So now he's up at 50 strength and can build 2, 14, even 3 air forces, but he doesn't have the used patriotism now, he only has 5 MAs. So he can declare a war and build 2 air forces. And at this point there are 11 cards in the deck. So if I don't get the air force now, he's basically guaranteed to get them for his next turn and can go for a war. So I think I really need to see an air force now so I can take it. Because I also need it for defense, I can go for 2 air forces then. And yeah, that's going to be really necessary if I want to defend this war. I see the impact of colonies and no air force on the board. And also I have to pay 3 science to Wawrzyniec and take military build up, modern infantry, urban growth, and build the cannon and take the patriotism. So I kind of have to go into full defense mode here. I'm not going to get air forces, and so I take the modern infantry to at least threaten some tactics. And with, like I did some math, and with the modern infantry and all these cards, I can, and building the cannon here too, I actually have the cannons for defense against aggression, I think. I don't know. But with having all this in hand, there was a way if I have, I think even entrenchments, so this either positional or entrenchments, I have enough to defend the war from Wawrzyniec. But of course it's costly. I have to spend my whole turn taking cards instead of building a movie maybe or whatever. I just have to go, everything has to be ready for the defense because I won't have air force, so I have to be able to threaten a lot of defense. Looking at the culture, I'm at 75 now, so it's basically pretty even between all 3 of us. But yeah, I have to prepare for war, and now I'm safe from war, but yeah, I have to invest a lot in it. I actually draw the positional even. Pascalotopia gives military alliance to Wawrzyniec, and now he has a democracy and takes an air force. Yeah, he also needs this for defense, of course, and builds another bread and circuses. So with the air forces, he can also threaten to build 2 more armies, which should make him fairly safe from war as well. And he declared the Olympic Games, so maybe Wawrzyniec can still narrowly win a war, but it's never going to be worth it at this point, I think. And he just gets the space flight instead, because Pascalotopia had to take the air forces. He couldn't take the space flight, so that's what Wawrzyniec gets out of the deal, basically. Progress comes out now, 18, 10, and 12. And yeah, Wawrzyniec then just doesn't go for war, doesn't need the air forces now, gets a space flight instead. So Increase population. Develop the architecture, which is that, and had to miss that. Built a warrior, interestingly. Was that to get out of corruption? I guess. Yeah, I'm not gonna check it. Probably getting out of corruption, sure. Didn't really see it. So I have impact of government, but it's not good. And yeah, at this point I'm just going to build up, use the military build-up and whatever that I had in hand and the patriotism. Just going for these. And that allows me to destroy a cannon and build a farm, which I need for the food, and take the multimedia in hand. So yeah, I kind of have to build strength anyway, because otherwise I could get aggressed, even with the defense cards. And I had that military build-up and patriotism, so might as well put them to use. And then next turn I can hopefully build another movie. At this point I have the leading culture production, and one of these three is my impact of culture. So I'm hoping if Pascalotopia sees that he reveals it now. Otherwise I might not win it, or at least I would have to, yeah, let's see. Seeds and impact of variety is revealed, sadly. 16 each, that doesn't do much. And Pascalotopia is upgrading his military quite a bit now. Builds an extra bread and circus as well, so yeah, either competition or strength. I think at this point I knew about a lot of impacts, not sure if I know about competition, but strength is definitely on my mind at this point, especially he went to plus 17. Like I said, I've seen a lot of impacts. I got a strategic too as well, so I drew a lot of cards. So there were only a limited number of impacts, and yeah, him doing this definitely signals that strength is in. And yeah, the way I had set up my turn, I could either build a movie or finish the Manhattan. But as it is now, even finishing the Manhattan won't get me there in strength, which makes me think that strength is likely in. And unfortunately, the fourth bread and circus means that he now has the lead in impact of culture as well. Wawrzyniec aggresses me. Then takes his last turn. Also goes for more strength. Uses Churchill bonus, so declines the 3 culture in order to build an air force, which makes him stronger than Pascalotopia. So either he also guesses that strength is in, or he actually put it in. I think the former, but who knows. And then he finishes space flight. And so now he will win the impact of strength, which is almost certainly in at this point, and even gets another guy, because competition is on his mind as well, probably. And so on my turn, I can't do anything about impact of strength, but I can build a movie to take impact of culture at least. And yeah, this will only give me 3 points, so that's not useful. And then we go to the final impacts. And yeah, first one is already a bad one. And you see that my I'm a bit more than 20 culture behind Wawrzyniec after this first impact. Before this, it was still looking like I have a chance, but with science, at least impact of culture will give me 14 against him. But then strength is likely in and will probably cancel that. So we'll see. Yeah, and I have colonies in, which I know is a blank, so that doesn't help me catch up. It is very close between them now. Impact of population, yeah, I had the ocean liner, but before that I lost so much population and had no food income for a long time that I'm still at the end of the game very low on population, or maybe not extremely low, they're just high, I guess. But yeah, that's another 10 points lost. And yeah, it's clear that I'm not going to catch up. We have impact of strength indeed, and that makes it close between Wawrzyniec and Pascalotopia, but I know that the last one is my impact of culture, which will give Pascalotopia another 7 points against Wawrzyniec, which means he wins the game pretty close against Wawrzyniec, and I'm still quite a bit behind. I think the early game, everything that could go wrong went wrong in a very brutal way. And then in the mid game, quite a few things actually went my way. I got that ocean liner, I got a lot of help from the international trade agreement. Maria was very helpful while she was around, and I drew a good tactic so I could catch up with the defensive and the Great Wall. But then in the late game, some things went wrong again. Maybe if I had Air Force, I would have been able to play more efficient at the end and generate some more culture. But yeah, that's what happened. And to be fair, somewhere around a third of the game to half the game, I had already accepted that this game was a loss. And so I was actually quite surprised by my position, like at the end of H2, start of H3, that it still looked playable, but yeah, I still am a bit behind in the end. So yeah, another loss, unfortunately. And with that, we're going to have a look at the standings next. But there was also one other game finished in the meantime, the 3-player game without me, so between Pascalotopia, Wawrzyniec and E5. And the result there was actually good for me. E5 won that game, and yeah, E5 already had no chance to win the league, so that was good for me. And Wawrzyniec was actually in second place, and yeah, with the second place here or the second place in the other game, he needed to win all his games to have a chance to win the league. So at second place is also enough to knock Wawrzyniec out of contention. And so it's only between me and Pascalotopia at this point. And so Pascalotopia got no points from the other 3-player game. He got 5 from this one, but none from the other. And with all that, we are going to have a look at the standings. And so the only games left to play are 2-player games. There's one 2-player game between Wawrzyniec and E5, but that has no bearing on who will win this group anymore, just for standings between them. And then there are the 3 2-player games of Pascalotopia still to come. So each of them gives 4 points, which means if he wins all 3 of them, he will be at 26, and then he will win the league. But if he loses any of them, then I win the league. So that's good. I still have good chances to win the group. And yeah, last game will be my 2-player game against Pascalotopia. That will likely be the first of those 3 2-player games of Pascalotopia to finish. And yeah, if I win that, or even in the unlikely event that I tie it, I will have won the group. If not, I will have to await the results of Pascalotopia's other 2 games. And if he gets, if we add ties, if he gets 1 win and 1 tie out of those, then he has enough, or 2 wins, of course. So yeah, still have all the chances. And yeah, I got brutalized by Caesar Colossus, so I should not say bad things about Caesar anymore after this. But in good news, I also then did the same thing to Martin Pêcheur in Intermezzo. Immediately after this happened, I also got Caesar Colossus in first position. Kind of did the same thing. So this is how evil things perpetuate. So if one person does something bad, you teach other people to do bad as well. So a life lesson to everybody. See you next time for the maybe decisive game of the league. Bye.